Hello, precious people. I'm Jacqueline Parks. Welcome to my channel, Stampin' Turtles. Today we're going to do a winter waterfall because I've done a fall waterfall and summer waterfall. Here's my fall because of the golden foliage. And so what better way to do another waterfall but in winter? Because it's starting to get cold. Well, actually, it's 80 degrees where I'm at. Where are you guys? Let me know in the chat if you are experiencing winter or if you're experiencing another summer. Oh, I can hear my voice. Great, I can hear me. So that's good. You can hear me if I can hear me. The funny thing is I have my little cup of tea. And this is, let me show you. I'll spin it around. This is my origins, where I'm from. Can you read that? Yeah, I've heard they're experiencing rain in California. So that's like a big event to experience rain in California, right? Oh, because not a lot of rain falls in California. But I'm in Alabama now. It's funny, there is a food truck that I just was introduced to here, and it was called, oh, what are they? Calabama? And so they're from California and moved here, and now they're in Alabama. So they made up a new name for their food truck. It's called Calabama. That's kind of cool. And they had tater tots, which is my favorite. If you like tater tots, give me a thumbs up in the chat. Does that do anything when I do that? Sometimes these OBS, whatever, does like hearts and stuff when I do this, but I don't see them. I don't see them right now. I have a stack of papers here, watercolor paper. I made a couple 5x7s. I made one that's like a little bigger than 4x6, and then just the random sheets left over. I may paint them all today. We'll see, because watercolor is easy. Easy peasy, y'all. Don't need to do too much. We're going to do one color probably. If you'd like to do one color, we can do one color. And I will show you. Let me get rid of that, because you don't want to see double me, do you? Well, maybe you do. I don't know. It's okay. I gotta spin my phone around. The thing about my phone is I like to take a picture of what I want to paint, and then I put it on my phone to see. And this is a really interesting picture found off of Google. It says Alamy or whatever. You know what though? I'm not going to do exactly like this one, so I think I'm safe to use it. Here is one that I use. Let me see if we can do a close-up. Is that a close-up? It's still kind of far away. So I did this one a while ago, and it's just a 3x3. You guys don't need to paint huge. If you're learning to paint, start small. I tell you all the time my story. When I was first learning watercolor in my 20s, that I totally blocked out of my brain because I didn't like the way the guy taught. He gave us like a ginormous sheet of watercolor paper that's like, I mean, the biggest you can buy at the store. And so we had that, and then we also had 150 bucks worth of watercolor paint, and then expensive brushes. Everything was expensive, and I started painting, and I didn't like it. I did not like it, y'all, because it was like a big old blob to me. It didn't even look like anything. You know what I'm saying? I do have my good brushes, though. Let me tell you, learning from Paul Clark on YouTube 5 years ago was the best thing, because I have fallen in love with watercolor. And the reason I love it so much now is because Paul Clark taught me how to do this this form of painting with this medium in a way that made sense to me. So I enjoyed it because I started small. I started small. I need some honey, y'all. And y'all know my pastor's honey is called Coastal Comb Bee Company, Fairhope, Alabama. Y'all need to order some. They'll deliver if you don't. If you don't know, it's really, really yummy. Yummy, yummy. And if you are local, I have heard that drinking or eating local honey helps with allergies. I don't know. I don't really have too many allergies, to be honest. I can't remember what I'm really allergic to be honest with you. All right, I have put some honey in my tea. I drink tea because I'm like, ooh, I don't know. You guys want to see my full setup. So I'm using maybe this palette today because it's got Payne's Gray right here and a little bit of blue. I think we're going to use a little bit of blue too, but well, Payne's Gray is kind of blue. The more you water it down, the more blue it looks. Oh, this is good tea, y'all. It's a ginger tea. I didn't bring the little thing, but that's okay. So whoops, we're going to do it this way, okay? We're going to do it this way because this waterfall is pretty, can you see that? That's really good for y'all to see. And I do have my nice brushes. Well, these ones are a fairly economical one you can get from Michael's. And it's 5 in the set. And I love the color, of course, teal. But like I've said in previous videos, one of my students got this one and theirs was falling apart, which I think that just was a defective set because I've had this set for 5 years and it's great. I love it. And I got all 5 for like 10 bucks. And then this one is a fancy schmancy one that my husband got me. And it was a set of 4 rounds, so different sized round brushes, black velvet. It's expensive. Highly recommend it though if you are going to pursue doing watercolor because it's nice to have this one. I like this one. It's a size difference than this one, so I need this size and this size. And I just feel like it's so much softer than this one. But this one I do use a lot. And it's held up quite a bit. I'm one of those that I don't throw things away. And so that's basically how I use this. All right, but we're going to start with a flat brush. And, you know, kind of use a big one. Don't use a little one. Use a big one. Because we're going to do some water. I'm putting, see my water right here? Got my water. It's kind of dirty water. But sometimes that's good because you can actually see what you're painting, right? When you start. So I'm going to do this kind of swoop of just clean water, which is always hard for y'all to see. But see how I'm mixing up some blue just for this sky? But you know, a wintry sky might not be this color. Might actually be a lot lighter. Let me get a little bit of paper towel. Paper towel. And of course there's some shine on there. Reese, stop it. I don't know why my dog always is bad. So bad. My dog is so bad. She ate 3 giant muffins from Sam's Club yesterday. So she did not get a full breakfast this morning. Because I'm like, you know what? You done ate too much yesterday. Right? How many of you have dogs that just like to eat and eat and eat off the table? Well, there's a bit of turtle. Move you over. So I don't know if you can see this. Check that out. It's just the sky, okay? And you can make that with the Payne's Gray. You can actually dab it and make it look like clouds, which I always think is fun. Maybe we'll do a whole video on cloud painting. That might be fun, huh? Would that be fun? I think so. Now the thing about watercolor painting, to not be frustrated, here's another thing that I didn't learn in my 20s, but I learned from Paul Clark, is that you want to wait for it to dry. So my sky is not dry. My sky is super shiny. See the shine? See that shine? Yes. That means it's wet. And if I paint something next to this, it will spread. Now sometimes we like that, Like this might have some picture of some trees right in there, but look at how much white is in here. That's all white, pretty much. There's some white in there. It's very pale. Everything's gonna be kind of pale, but this video is definitely going to be about learning to do contrasting. So usually I don't focus too much on explaining how to contrast, but today I'm going to, because I think it's important. The more you contrast in your painting, the better it looks. You have to have like darks and lights. You got to have midtones. You got to have all of it to make a beautiful painting. And like this little tiny one I made, you can see darks and lights and midtones. And see, it's just kind of created a little waterfall. And I'm not sure if this is wintry or not, but the one that I showed in the thumbnail, I don't know where that is. I can't find it in this mess of a craft room. So we're just going to figure out how to paint it from scratch, but I like this video, or this image I found. So we're going to try and do that. So now I'm going to go over to the paints over here. So I think what I'm going to do, I may stick with this flat one, and I'm just going to pick up some Payne's Gray. See how much I did? Just a little bit. Like it's barely any, right? Barely any. But now we're going to go back over to, so see, I'm picking up a little bit of paint on my brush. My brush is kind of wet. And we're just going to start looking at this picture and trying to figure out, where do I want to put some of these things? So I may want to put some. And I can kind of go along like this. I may start going down the line where I think. And I'm going to just rinse this brush because I think it's too dark to start. So now see how I'm lightening it? Just by putting some clean water. And then up here is going to be more textured stuff. So see that? Probably don't see that. I'm so sorry. Let me see if I can zoom in. It's very shiny and very pale. So you can't see it that great yet. But I'm going to dip it in here and do the same on the other side. And I'm trying to follow what I'm seeing. And I feel like some of this is going to be fit in the paint some more. And see how everything is so pale right now? I mean, I'm telling you guys that this is really how you start every painting in general, is you're starting super pale, right? And you're like, oh, I can't even see what you're painting. It's so pale. I'm like, I know. It's very sad. I can't make this a little darker for you, but I'll lift it. So this is my first layer. And you might be like, that's not even looking like anything. And that's exactly why we do this layer. It's because it's supposed to be very pale, very translucent. Watercolor is a translucent paint. In general, there's some opaque. There's gouache. You guys can use gouache. And now I'm going to start forming some other areas that are of interest. And if I don't do this exact, it's okay, right? We don't need to be super exact when we're painting from a photo, because we can change anything we want on the whim. A lot of times the Holy Spirit starts guiding me how to paint, and I don't fight that. I go with that. And as you start to become an artist, you'll learn how to do it too, how to follow that instinct in you. And I'm going to start adding a little bit darker in here. See all this? This is supposed to be like some trees up in there. And I'm still using that brush. And that's just making some darker, and I'm using that Payne's gray, maybe a little bit of the blue in there, but not too much. And I'm letting my eyes kind of look and see what I'm painting. Just letting it come alive. We like watching it do its thing. All that really fun stuff right there. Look at those. We just make some trees right there. Can you see those? They're kind of pretty. We're going to make some more of this darker area in here. Looks like the rock formations are kind of going downward like this. This definitely is. Now, I may see different things than what you guys see, and that's okay. Sometimes we'll be like looking at the same image, but you guys are painting different things than me because that's what stands out to you as the artist. And that's what makes us unique and individuals, is because our brains don't all function the same. We have a lot of unique interpretations of what we're viewing. And I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here, but it is starting to look really pretty. May not have made this as big as I wanted it. We'll go like that. Make it go upwards a little bit. And I think that's too dark. I'm going to lighten it by wetting my brush and just kind of going over it. Look at that. That is starting to look pretty good. And for the most part, I'm using one color. Like, it's not that big a deal. I might put a little brown now in this one. A little brown, because that looks kind of like rock right in there. So yeah, I'm sorry that it said using one color, but I want you guys to know that you can mix all of this with just one color if you wanted to. But for the most part, I'm using one color. I need to get some more color in here, but it's not doing what I want. Let's see. But yeah, I'm just using this one color pretty much to make it look right. And there's white, lots of white in there. That's the snow. We don't want to get rid of that snow. See? It looks kind of good from afar. Far. A little bit. We do not interrupt Mama. You want to get out of here? Yes. You want to leave the room? You want to leave the room? He's left the room. My little baby. He had to go to the vet. I don't know if you guys know anything about Yorkies. He's got itchy skin all the time. So I have to take him usually in November. I don't know why it's always November. I got to take him. But he chews his little self so raw that there's scabs and stuff all over him. Right now I'm going to make the waterfall. So I'm taking my flat brush and I'm turning it sideways. And the color I used was just a little bit of blues. And we're just kind of doing this. You can do as much as you want on this. Oh, it's so light you can't barely see it. Let me see if I zoom in. See all the little lines? Yep. That looks pretty good. I would say that's getting close to being done. The contrasts need to be darker. And I'm going to paint these little trees in the front. That'll bring that popping out. It will pop out. I almost feel like switching to a different brush. Let me see. Let me see if I got this going. I do like this darker spots in here. And I like how the waterfall is looking really white. I like that. With just a little bit of that tinge of blue. It might be ultramarine blue. I don't know what it is. It might be my turquoise. I did recently buy some turquoise, which is fun. I like turquoise. It's like one of my colors. Doop. I'm going to add these little trees up here again. I'm just making it darker in there. Why? Because it makes it look more interesting. Let's see. That might be really dark right in there. Might do some more on this side. Just to darken these little cliffs. It has like some of these little, I don't know what these are. Rocks, maybe? And a little darker in here. And I keep dipping into my paint because I need it to be nice and saturated. And I may not be doing this exactly like the picture, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. Usually people won't be seeing what you're looking at, to be honest. So I'm just going to add some darker areas to the top of this part. I think it looks better if it's got some darker areas. And see the contrast? Look at how it's starting to form and look. Even, I would say, even better than the photo. And that's how I like to see paintings anyways. I'm like, paintings are kind of cool when you see them for the first time, but then like when you paint it, it's like, ooh, I like the painting better. But sometimes I get inspired by the photos, and so I have to get something going, right? I have to get it going. But yeah, just enjoy your process. A lot of times people are like so focused on creating something perfect that they're like not enjoying themselves. But I think it's important to enjoy yourself. All right, I'm gonna rinse this and I'm gonna pick up some of that blue maybe and just do something there. I may do it a little bit lighter and just tone that down. But this is gonna look fabulous. Fabulous. So see how it's kind of turning out. It's still really wet up there, so you see a lot of shine. So it's turning out pretty good. I may end up doing this tree, so I'm going to go down a size into a round. And I'm going to get lots of Payne's Gray paint onto the tip of this. Lots of it. Thick, 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 thick. So that you can see what I'm going to do. So now I'm going to add a big tall tree. Look at how dark that is, yeah. And I'm concentrating. Sorry if I'm not talking very much. Because when you do stuff like this, you gotta be very concentrating. Very, very much concentrating. Oh, what are your plans, you guys, for Thanksgiving? Are you guys doing anything fun? Um, I I don't know quite yet what our plans are. Probably going to my husband's sisters, maybe. Um, that might be fun. Notice how this is getting lighter and lighter, like because the paint that I've already put on this is getting um, less and less on there. But I'm gonna get some more paint onto my brush. See how I'm dipping it in there. And now I'm gonna do this side. I'm gonna do some interesting little pines coming out this way. It might be a different kind of pine. And see, I'm just using that Payne's Gray, dipping it in there again. And I'm just very slowly adding more into this. See how I'm doing? Check it out. It's looking good. And there's another one right here. I'm not really following it perfectly, y'all. I'm doing my own thing. And adding some more. But these are definitely a little bit loose, a little loosey-goosey. I'm adding a little darker in here because it seemed like it was too light to me. Look at that. Doesn't that look amazing? I think it looks pretty good. And then at the top here, I may add some more definition to make it look like trees. You can add more trees than in the photo if you like. Sometimes I like to do that. May add one over here, even though there's not really one over here. Might do that. So see how I did that? And I'm looking, now I'm trying to find, there's like a shadow in there, so I might have to add a pale shadow in there. But I may start by doing this in darker. I might do some more dark in this section. And I'm going this up and down route because it's kind of like the cliffs. And you can use a credit card too. Sometimes I use little credit cards to do this kind of stuff. To get all these nice little lines. And it's funny how like my eye is seeing different things now. I didn't even draw this, remember? We just kind of went for it. Now we're just kind of adding some more detail. Adding more detail and it's just popping. It's popping. And if your paint's not moving, wet it. Wet the tip of the brush and just let it move around. Liking how that's looking. It's very dark. That's okay. Now I might add that kind of pale blue underneath. A little pale blue underneath. Maybe a little bit there. Ooh, too much blue. If you mess up and do some kind of wonky color, just lift it. And that's fine. You can add some Payne's Gray back in there. And then it disappears a little bit. Little bit. Might do a little shadow right in there. And see how that's making it pop with that little thing of shadow right in there. Making that look like it's a little crest of a rock. Doesn't that look cool? I think it looks cool. There we go. A little bit of shadow. Might do some more shadow on here. It looks like it needs a little bit more. I'm doing that dry brush technique where you kind of just scrape it over. And here's the thing that I like the most about watercolor is it does look painterly. Like you got lots of good little painterly feel to it. Ta-da! Look at that. So I like that. That's a very wintry scene right there. I'm feeling it's cold, like we need a jacket. And maybe this section needs to be a little darker. I don't know, but I kind of like the contrasting with the close-up of the pine. So I kind of like that. Might leave that. And so that's one. If you're painting and you feel like you want to keep painting, there's another thing that's great about using small pieces of paper to paint on is that you can put that one off to the side and you can start a brand new one. Yeah, brand new. So we might put you guys right there. Put you right there in front of me. Oh, why is it no staying where I want it to? We'll just put it over here. We'll put it over here, you guys. Way out of reach. You can't see it. It's time for my tea. I can feel my voice going, eh. Very good, very good. So this is like our number 2. We're going to start the same way. So this is great practice, y'all. I like just wetting that top part and you kind of scoop it down. And that's my go-to. Gonna get some of that Payne's Gray and blue. Look at that. That's beautiful. Let's zoom in so you can see the excitement. Look at that. You see that? That's really cool. I like that. And it's gonna be shiny. So, you know, I'm gonna stick with this maybe and see if we can paint a little differently than before. Because I never really paint things the same. Sometimes I get. But I am going to dry my brush and just streak it down. Look at that. Very watery. So that's one way you can do it. There's so many ways to do watercolor, y'all. So just because I've done one way doesn't mean it's the only way. That's what I also like about learning online was I found someone that was very good for me anyways to learn from because of the way the process. Now I'm avoiding touching this guy because it's super wet, but I am going to be loosey-goosey with this one, not so detailed. Why? Because second time I'm painting it, right? And so we're just being fast and furious. Fast and furious. May get rid of that. Just dab it out just a little bit. I might put some, let me show you what I'm doing. In the paint department over here, actually, move that up. So see in there, I'm just getting my brush right into that Payne's Gray. Getting lots of Payne's Gray on my brush. Very thick, but still watery. Like not dripping. It doesn't drip off the brush, but it's very still water in there, right? And then we're gonna go over to the painting. And now we're just gonna start adding that thicker paint up into here. And see how it's disappearing in that area because that's super wet. Same right there, it's really wet. But I'm doing it just a little different this time. Why? Because every time I paint, something else stands out to me. So I'm not gonna be super exact every time. I'm just gonna go for it. And we're getting a darker fill in there. And that's just kind of fun in there. So we are using more of just the plain Payne's Gray in there. I'm gonna rinse the brush, kind of dry it, and smear this a little bit out. Smear this a little bit, smear that a little bit, smear this up a little bit. Might smear some over here. When I say smear, I'm like using a brush that has no paint on it. I'm just wiggling it around, lightening different areas, leaving some white where I want white. But I'm just having fun figuring out what I'm seeing in the picture. And so now the bottom, we're going to do some fun stuff over here. Can you see what I'm doing? Yep, it looks pretty good. And we're going to see side by side, and you can pick which one you like at the end of this. But basically, I'm doing these pretty quick. Pretty quick. And I like all this bloom going on. That's really pretty up here. I don't know if you can really see it. Let me see if I can zoom. Let me see. Sometimes I zoom. We can see it. There we go. See all this bloom? You really can't do that with a lot of different mediums. This is the medium that you get all that fun bloom. And I'll be honest, sometimes you're sitting here and you're just waiting for the paint to dry because it's still really shiny in there. And I can't do too much detail if it's wet. And so that's the thing you got to remember. You can't really do all that detail if it's super wet. But we can add some more detail over here. Like in here, I see a bunch of stuff right over here. I don't know. Let me see if I can move that over and you can see the photo next to it. So now you can see where I'm putting some darker areas in. Just redipping in that paint. Creating some lines for that stone. Rock formations. There's some rock formations up here. Just wiggle your brush and you'll get better at this. Like I always tell people, you didn't know how to write your name in kindergarten, but then you learn and now you write your name and you don't even think about how to write your name, right? You just kind of do it without thinking. And that's almost like where I'm at this point with watercolor, is that I kind of just do stuff without thinking. And you'll get there. You got to have patience with yourself and give yourself some grace to learn, because not everybody is just super amazing at everything when they first start. In fact, I was not super amazing when I first started. So I had to learn how to get better at this. And I want you guys to not quit. I want you to keep trying. Because you'll find that it's really rewarding when you start to see what happens when you keep trying something and practicing with it and learning the skill, learning how to do it. You'll see, you'll be impressed by yourself. And see how I just got all that detail in there? That wasn't the first layer. We have to let the layers dry. And I might start doing a little bit more on this other side. Let's see what happens. I do like some of these blooms that I already started in there. So I may not want to erase them, but you know what? Sometimes you gotta do a little bit of over the top with something. Just because. So I'm making this really dark in here. So I'm dipping my brush in the Payne's Gray and just going. Now this is literally one color I've pretty much done except for a little bit a lighter blue on the water. So it's not a lot of different colors. It's just one color. You can add more color in here if you want. I'm enjoying just using this Payne's Gray a little bit. And now I'm kind of focusing on these little craggly things, like where the snow is kind of falling in. Let me see what I'm doing. I'll push that up a little bit. But I am finding that my brush is super dry right now, and I might need to do something about that because it's doing that skipping, which is fine. You know, sometimes we do kind of like that. And this one's going to look a little more rocky probably than the first one. It's fine if it's a little something there. I might just mix up that shadow area and add those shadows in while I'm looking at them and see where they are. Might be some shadows in there. And sometimes just varying that color just a little bit on here might make those shadows pop. Just a little bit. So that's looking pretty good. I can zoom back out so you guys can see. Not too zoomed out though. Let's see. Try and make it. See if we can see that. It's still really close up. But there we go. So see that? That looks, I like the looks of this one. I really like it. I may not even add the stuff in the front, the trees. I don't know. I may just leave it like that because that's pretty. That's super pretty. Let me see if I find my old one. Old one. Can put them side by side. One is a little bigger than the other, I think. Let's see. So I'm looking at these side by side and I'm thinking I don't know, I think I like the one on the left. What do you guys think? Do you like this one or this one? Give me some hearts and let me know which one you like. I do like there's some more colors in this one, but I don't know. Something about this one is more painterly, more loose. It doesn't look as realistic. I don't know. It's just kind of cool. I like them both. It's really cool to see how I can do both of them. And so this is the one I really like. And let's see what happens next to my fall one. Can we get this bigger? Let's get this bigger so you can see two of them. There we go. This one's a bigger painting. I think this might be 6x9 instead of a 5x7. But 5x7 is really easy to frame. You can find a lot of frames for that. Just went to an estate sale over the weekend and they had a box of black frames. I think they're for 8x10. And no mats, no glass, no backing, nothing. It's just the black frame. And I think I got the whole box of 50 for like $1, which is pretty cool. And I'm gonna see if I can use them to put some prints in of some of my paintings. So I might do that. I might make some 5x7 prints and put them in a mat and then put them in those frames to sell. Might put them on my website. I don't know. I'm thinking about doing some things on my website because I've had a lot of older paintings on there for a while, and I need to probably start changing what's on there, what's being offered. I don't know if you can see this really up close. Look at all the little blooms in there. Really like that. It's really pretty, I think. But so that one is still kind of damp. I'm gonna let it kind of rest and do its thing. And I like this one too. I have not put this on my website yet. I might do that. Might put both of these on the website. I've been on a big kick to paint waterfalls. I like the waterfalls. They're just really pretty. One of the things about waterfalls that the imagery for me reminds me of God's grace for us. So he's got unending grace. Like his grace never ends. And so when you think about a waterfall, does the water ever stop coming? I mean, even when it's, dry or drought conditions, a lot of waterfalls never stop. They keep flowing. There's always water coming. So I think that the imagery of waterfalls is great for the word grace. And I think there is a verse, there's probably more than one verse about grace. I'm going to look it up real quick. I should have already did this. I know Ephesians 2:8-9 is good. Romans 3:23-24. That's a good one about grace. It says, "For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God, and are justified freely by his grace through the redemption that came by Jesus Christ." I think that's perfect. So, if you think about it, when Jesus died on the cross, he gave his life so that we as sinners don't have to be cast out of heaven forever. We can be in relationship with God. And because of that work on the cross that Christ did, we have the grace of God now. And it's through faith, which we don't even figure out how to be faithful. Like, I know my whole life I said I believed, but I really didn't. I was kind of a lukewarm Christian. I didn't understand what he did on the cross and why sin was so bad. I was just kind of like, I believe in Jesus, I'm going to heaven. And that was what I was taught, and that's what I kind of believed. And so I didn't think there was anything else to it. I just thought, okay, I'm just going to say I'm a Christian and I don't have to change. But once I became a born again Christian, and that was just like 10 years ago, I realized the price that Jesus paid was huge. It was a huge price. And the fact that he did that, and he wasn't someone that ever sinned. He was perfect. But he went to the cross. He suffered. He died. He was mocked. He was stripped. He was beaten. He was tortured. It's like suffocating when you're on a cross being crucified. Like you can't breathe. He was thirsty. He was ridiculed by those that were waiting for him to come, and they didn't even notice that it was him. And so how frustrating that must have been to see the people that you came for reject you. That's really hard. But he knows what we go through in our lives. But think about what you've done in your life. Have you ever made anyone upset? Have you ever betrayed someone's trust? Have you ever hurt someone? Have you ever just said a mean word and then later felt bad? Well, God can forgive all that because of what Jesus did. He can forgive us. And that to me is just wonderful. And the fact that it's like a waterfall, never ending. His grace is never ending. He keeps forgiving over and over. Like, say you struggle with some kind of sin, like gossip, worry, Gluttony, I kind of eat a lot. So I'm like, actually, I don't really eat that much, but I'm like, probably don't exercise enough. That's the problem. So, gonna try and do New Year's resolutions this year that I will stick to. Maybe someone will help me. But I would just recommend that you think about what you've done. And if you think that you can make atonement for your own sin, that's pride. Because there's no way that you can make anything that you've done wrong good. Because, like, once those words are out of your mouth, they've hurt someone. And you can't take them back. And I feel really bad about that. And we're only human, though. So every day I kind of pray and say, Lord, help me be a better person. Help me to be using your Holy Spirit to guide others to know you. Because that love is so intense. There's no other love like it than God's love for you. And when you know how much he loves you, you want to do what he asks you to do. And that's just spread his gospel. Tell people about Jesus. As a believer, that's my job, to tell others about Jesus. Do I do it every day? Not always. I fail from time to time, but I get encouraged by other believers and I meet with them. Like, I go to small groups, I go to church, I go to, I do my Bible art journaling on Wednesdays, and I have my Bible and I paint in it. I get encouraged that way. And so grace is very important to remember that God's grace is always there for you, always there. It's not going to ever end. Like, you're not going to run out of grace because you've messed up again. You're not going to run out of his grace. He's going to keep pouring grace onto you more and more every day. And that's what's so wonderful. If you just believe in him, and I know it's hard to just say, okay, I believe, and not really feel it. But read your Bible for yourself. Like, so many people are just trusting what, like, one church said to them, or one person that they think's a hypocrite said to them. And I wouldn't trust that one encounter. In fact, this is good for any news that you receive, like from news stations. Verify it, different sources, find out if it's true or not. Sometimes we see something on these phones and we think it's true because it's a video. Well, now they make videos using AI, and it could be, you could see a picture of me, like a video of me doing some crazy stuff. Trust me, if I'm jumping out of an airplane or jumping on a trampoline doing flips, that's not me. I can't do that stuff. So just double check and see if that is true. But you can always trust God's word. God's word is uncorrupted. Okay, a lot of people are like, oh, different version, you can't read those. You can research it. But the Bible says that his word will remain standing forever, and nothing can corrupt it. And so that, to me, is proof right there that you can trust the Bible. So anyways, that's my little talk with you guys. It's almost 11, so might as well stop for the day, and you guys can go get your paints. Get one color, get one brush, get one piece of paper, and try this little technique. It actually turned out really good. The more I look at it, the more I love it. The more I love this one. I really love this one. Look at that. It looks windy. It looks cold. I don't like the cold, y'all. But it looks like, you know, one of those picturesque places. Just so gorgeous. Love it. This would be more my style. Go in the fall. When it's kind of cooler. I don't know if there's bugs in the fall. I don't like it lately. I've been getting mosquito bites all over my arms. Because, y'all, look it up. Alabama, in Daphne, Alabama, there is 80 degrees. What is it? Is it 80 degrees right now? Let me check. Because it's still kind of early. It's almost 11. It is 73. So not quite 80. It's going to only be 74 for the high. That's not too hot. Yesterday was hot. Oh my gosh. It was so hot. Tuesday, tomorrow is going to get up to 78. So it's going to be hot. For some of you, it's hot. For me, that's perfect. Because why? Because I am from the Sunshine State. Da 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 da. And we always had the sun shining. We always had warmth, and it was the best time, you know. Just go to the beach every day. Only in the winter, like the dead of winter, was it like too cold to really go to the beach. So, but anyways, I hope you all have a blessed day. I love you. I pray for each of you, and I'll see you next time.